What's up, brand builders? Stephen Hurahan here at BrandMasterAcademy.com, and in this video you're going to learn how to create an effective brand positioning strategy so you can identify hidden opportunities in your market and entice your audience to ditch your competitors and choose your brand. Now, if you are new to the channel and you want to build brands that go beyond the logo using strategy, psychology, and creative thinking, then you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. If you want to fast track your results, make sure you grab the Pro Brand Strategy Blueprint. It's a free download and the link is in the description. Now, it doesn't take a brand specialist or a brand strategist to know what a successful brand looks like. We all engage with these successful brands on a day-to-day basis, the likes of Nike or Apple or Harley Davidson or Coca-Cola. These are all examples of exceptional brands, and although they're all completely different from each other, there's a common thread here. They all have very strong brand equity, which stems from a very strong market position. So what is brand positioning? Well, it's the strategic process of helping your audience to remember your brand for something specific, and in doing that, giving them meaning as to what your brand is all about. So in other words, brand positioning is helping your audience to understand and remember what it is you want your brand to be remembered for. So why is brand positioning so important? Well, you'll know this as a consumer because when you go to market to buy something, whether it's a product or service, there are no shortage of choices for you to choose from, and you need to make a decision as to what brand you're going to choose, what product or service you're going to choose, and the actions of the brand will influence the choices that you make. So it's really important that you don't go into the market with a brand to just make up the numbers. If you go in there and try to match your competitors, match what they're doing, match their offers, then you're just going to, at best, match what they're offering. You're not going to stand out from the crowd. You're just going to make up the numbers, and that is the best way to blend in. Your positioning strategy is absolutely critical because you need to stand out from your competitors, and you need to give your audience a reason to choose your brand over them. Now, one of the more effective ways to identify a position to take in the market is by analyzing your competitors and plotting them on a positioning map. Now, positioning map is a traditional marketing tool, but it's still very, very effective because it allows you to see who your competitors are and what they're doing using a couple of different variables to see where they're sitting and to identify gaps and opportunities in the market that you can go in and fill as a business and as a brand to give your audience something different. So how do you go about creating an effective brand positioning strategy? Well, there are no shortage of articles and videos that tell you that you need to stand out in the marketplace as a business owner or a business leader, and they all make it sound very, very easy. Just go out and whip up a differentiation strategy. But as I mentioned before, when you sit down to do that, it can get overwhelming very, very quickly, unless, of course, you have a framework and a system to follow to develop a positioning strategy for your brand, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you right now. Step number one, identify your target market. Now, your position is all about positioning your brand in the mind of your audience, and in order to do that effectively, you need to understand the mind of your audience. You need to understand who this group of people are, what they're trying to achieve, what challenges are standing in their way. And when you understand that, that's when you can develop a positioning strategy that will give them what they need and give it to them in a way that is different from your competitors. But step number one is critically important. You need to understand exactly who that target audience is and really understand the nature of their lives and what they're going through emotionally as well. Step number two, identify your competitors. Now, your audience will be going out into the market looking for a product or service, whether your brand exists or not. And in the marketplace are your competitors waiting to fulfill their needs. So you need to understand who these competitors are and what they're offering. So make sure you really dive into exactly who is out there in the marketplace and what your audience already has as an option in the marketplace when they go into that market. If you understand that competitive landscape, then you're in a great position to identify gaps and opportunities. Step number three, conduct market analysis and competitor research. So you want to understand as best as you can the competitive landscape that's out there. You want to understand who this audience is and what opportunities, what offers they already have in the marketplace. And this is where your positioning map will come into play by analyzing who your competitors are and where they stand. Using those variables, you can quickly see what they're good at and what they're not so good at. And you can also see what offers already exist out there in the marketplace and where your audience is being left short as well. Step number 4, identify gaps and opportunities. So through your analysis and your research, you're going to come across various different gaps. You're going to see where the congregations of your competitors are and where they're not. So where they're not serving your audience, or where those unmet needs are. And when you take the time to identify these gaps and opportunities, you really have the ammunition then to go on and develop a compelling differentiation strategy. Step number 5, uncover your differentiator. So this is where you're going to take the work that you've done before. You're going to take those gaps and you're going to take those opportunities and you're going to develop out a differentiation strategy. A gap on its own is not enough. It's not enough as a compelling offer for your audience. These are just gaps and opportunities that exist for you to go in there and create something special, something unique. And that is how you go in there and develop out a differentiation strategy. Take the time to understand exactly what the audience wants and exactly where their unmet needs are, and then develop out a compelling offer to meet that need. Step number 6, write a brand positioning statement. Now, this brand positioning statement is going to clarify what your position is in the market. Now, I've created a video before on exactly how to write a brand positioning statement. I'll leave a link in the description below. But essentially what this document is an internal guide. Yes, you can post this on your website if you like. You can post this on your social media account if you like, but really it's an internal document to guide decisions and actions. So take the time to write out your brand positioning statement to give you that clarity and that guidance in decision making. Step number 7, write a communication framework. Now, by the time you've written out your brand positioning statement, you'll have a number of key elements that are really important when it comes to your communication. You have who your audience is and what it is that they desire, what they're driven towards, what their goals are. You have the benefits that you offer your audience in the marketplace and how you're going to do things differently from your competitors. These are all really important key pieces of information that you need to use within your communication strategy. As you communicate to who your audience is, you want them to know this critical information. So take the time to develop out a communication framework so you're feeding them that information every time you speak to them. Step number 8, design a brand experience. Now, the position that you want to own lives in the mind of your audience, and it's important to remember that how your audience positions your brand will be based on the experience that they have with your brand, whether they speak to somebody over the phone or visit your website or receive an email from you. These are all part of your overall brand experience and all contribute to the position that you want to own in the mind of your audience. So take the time to map out a brand experience so that each and every single touch point contributes to the position that you want to own in the mind of your audience. Now, I think I was pretty clear in that video that creating an effective positioning strategy is not a walk in the park. It's not something that you whip up in 2 seconds. It really does take a bit of time and a bit of finessing and a bit of research and analysis to understand what's going on in the marketplace before you can develop a compelling offer and a compelling reason to give your audience to choose your brand over your competitors. But this framework is the key. This framework will give you the step-by-step instructions, the step-by-step guidance to go out there and identify the key elements that you need so you can create an effective positioning strategy for your brand. Now, if you're just about to jump into positioning your brand and creating that brand positioning strategy and you're looking for some inspiration, then this video will give you 9 approaches of brand positioning used by some of the biggest brands in the world to get those creative juices flowing. Until next time, brand like a master, and I'll see you in the next video.